Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. Time for a big canning project today, and actually there'll be two because I do want to introduce you to the new lids and stuff that I'm going to be trying out. So I will be doing a second video. I'll be using lids to can these, but I'll actually be using the jars to do the other canning project. So, and I'll kind of tell you more about them in my second video. Just know that this first video I will be using the brand Superb lids just so I can check them out. So we are going to can up mushrooms. I found that I only have 12 cans left, and I had like 47, and it's been a year ago since I canned them. So obviously that tells me that we're going through them, and with them being on sale for $1.19 for a package, would be pretty stupid not to stock up on them right now. So the first thing that we have to do is we've got to wash them. You're not really washing them, you're rinsing them out. So I dump every container in my sink because I don't have anything big enough to hold all of those, because there are 24 of these that I've got. And it works good. Just make sure your sink is clean. You know, wash it out real nice. Everything else, I've got another box of them over here, and I take out the off the wrapping because the packages themselves are recyclable. So now once I get all these in there, I will set a timer for 10 minutes because you want them to soak in water for at least 10 minutes. And then what I do, so that I know that they're getting clean, is once they drain out, I'll put my drainer off to the side a little bit so they don't go down the sink, obviously, the drain, is I will let water drain out of them, and then I will rinse them again while I'm doing that. So I'd only fit one per sink in here. These are really nice mushrooms, actually. And I kind of got to do everything in steps anyway because I just don't have the counter space or the stove space to do everything at one time. So it has to go in, you know, increments. I'll clear this off and then I got room for something else, you know what I mean? So, alrighty. So let me get these filled up and then I'll come back. So our next step is we fill our boiling pans with the mushrooms and cover them with water. If they're not completely covered in the beginning, believe me, they're going to shrink down and then they'll kind of sink. So it'll be okay. It says to blanch them for 4 to 5 minutes, but actually I don't have the room to let the water get boiled first and then, you know, take it off and do whatever. So I basically cook mine for about 10 minutes. That way it's got a time to come to a boil and to cook. You'll know if they're ready when they have softened. You don't want to put hard mushrooms into your jars. That's not going to be good. So that's how your basic on how long you know to do it is on how soft your mushrooms get. I still have 8 containers sitting over there in the water waiting for one of these pans to get done. So yeah, there'll be quite a few jars today, and a lot of people will say hot, hot, and hot. By the time that I get done cooking and then another one, everything will be pretty much cooled down, so you don't have to do hot, hot, and hot. So let me start getting jars out. This is going to be a long day. So now the one pan is ready, this one, and I'll let that continue to cook while we're filling these. So now while we're filling them, I don't use the juice, the water, from what I boiled, because even though you wash them really good and everything, I don't want to use what I would think would be dirty water. So I will add water to mine. I would much rather do that than have mushrooms that come out like not real good. You know what I mean? And you can fill these right up to the 1-inch head space. Because what I'll do once this one's done, then I'll clean it out, and then I'll pull that one forward, and then I'll bring the other ones and start cooking them. That one could probably take a couple more. Alright. So I'm just going to show you on a few here. I'm sure you don't want to watch me do all of them because there's going to be a lot. So now we want to fill that water up to the 1-inch head space. Now they are going to shrink a little bit more even when they're in the canner. So if it gets down to where you think you need to add more mushrooms, by all means, please do that. Like, see, all these could probably use a few more mushrooms. So we'll just go through and add a couple more. And I'll tell you guys, when you can your own mushrooms, they taste so much better than the ones that have been sitting in tin. They truly, truly do. So now, you want to make sure you wash those rims. Even though it's just water and mushrooms, you still want to always get in the habit of doing that. And then we're going to use our rings, our lids, I'm sorry. I just got water all over myself. Now I'm going to introduce these completely more in the next video, but one thing that I really, really like about this company is basically they're local. They are made in Ohio, so it's a 100% American company. It actually used to be manufactured by Amish, which anybody that's ever used the Amish lids know that they were great lids. Alright, so now I'm going to put them in my canner. Because my canner is so tall, the 23 quart, I can actually put a second layer in there. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can fit 10 and then 10, so I can do 20 at a time. And I got my small canner out too that I'll be using. Alright, so I got 32 half pints. And so I've got both canners going. Now what I'm waiting for is for them to come up to steam, up to pressure. Once that does that, I will let it steam for 10 minutes. Then I will put the jiggler on it, and they can for 45 minutes. Once they finish, shut them off, let them cool down, and let it release pressure on its own. Never, ever remove the lid early. I found out that one time, and I won't do it again. So, I did use my Superb lids on all of them, so we'll see how it works. Now, if you don't can, at this point, you can, since you have blanched them, you can actually go to dehydrating. So if you want to dehydrate your mushrooms, once you have blanched them, you can do that. So, you know, either way, you can or blanch. I'm trying to say different ways that you can do it if you don't can, or if you dehydrate, or whatever you happen to do, so that you can still stock up. So I'm going to let these get done. I'm going to put my hair in a ponytail because I am sweating. I'm going to get the next one ready. I've got to prep the vegetable for it, and then I'll come back with a second video. But I'll come back when this one's finished, and you'll see how beautiful those mushrooms are. So there we go. 32 pints. Half pints, sorry, of beautiful mushrooms that will be on my shelf. I'll tell you guys, Tom came home for lunch and he unloaded the second canner, and he's like, man, these pop really loud. And I said, they're supposed to. And he's like, he's looking them over and everything. He goes, they've all popped already. And some were popping as he got them out and everything else. He goes, Wow, those sealed really, really quick. So I will leave the link below and your discount code. So give it a look. So far, I'm happy. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing.